We're tired of being killed. We're tired of the cover-ups. We're tired of the excuses.
Body cam footage released late last week show Minneapolis police breaking in and killing 22-year-old Amir Locke while he is sleeping on the couch. This was over a no-knock warrant. Amir Locke is not even on the warrant, is not a part of the investigation, but he was sleeping on the couch when they broke into this place. And police woke him up at 6:48 in the morning. He had a gun on him because he has a conceal and carry permit. He's allowed to have a gun on him inside of an apartment like this. He was startled. He was holding a gun, was not pointing it or shooting it, but doesn't matter. Within 10 seconds, the police shot and killed him. Not even on the warrant, not part of the investigation, freaked him out and killed him. So I'm going to show you the footage here. The actual shooting aspect is kind of censored, as you'll see. This is an issue with having to do these kinds of stories on YouTube, is if I show the full footage, very likely YouTube would limit the ability for this segment to get out there and be shared. So I want people to actually see what went on here. So you're not going to see the actual shooting itself, though you are going to hear it, but you'll see what went on. This footage here is slowed down a bit. This was posted by Georgia Fort on Twitter, so she may have slowed this down, but the footage is slowed down by about a third of the speed. So it gives you an idea, 10 seconds blown up into 30 seconds, what happened during this event. So again, that took place over 10 seconds. That there, blown up into 30 seconds, slowing it down to show you a clear picture of what happened. You can see there the police did not announce before they opened the door. They didn't say anything. Well, of course, they said differently initially. MPD Chief Huffman originally said in her first news conference after this shooting that SWAT, quote, loudly made themselves known before entering the apartment. That does not appear to be the case when watching the video. No, it doesn't. Only inside do the officers start talking. Yeah, very clear. Did not say anything before they opened the door. They had a key clearly. Maybe they got it from the landlord. I'm not clear on where they got the key from, but they had the key. They opened the door, didn't say anything until the door was opened, and then they kicked the couch and shot Amir Locke. During a press conference on Thursday held by the Minneapolis Police Department, officials confirmed that Amir Locke, who was shot early on Wednesday morning during the search, was not named in any search warrant carried out by MPD police. Locke was shot by the Minneapolis officer Mark Hanneman, according to city officials and documents. So again, confirmation that Amir Locke was not on the warrant. Also, of course, Mark Hanneman has a history. So the department hired Hanneman in 2015. According to the AP, city records show there have been 3 complaints against him that were closed without discipline. Data from Communities United Against Police Brutality shows a 4th complaint from 2018 that is still open. No specifics were provided on any of these complaints, and a police department spokesperson told Newsweek it cannot provide comment on the complaints. So often with cases like this, there is a history from these officers that are the ones involved in shootings such as this. And again, that is the case here as well. Now, the video released, just a quick overview in case you maybe skipped the video, didn't want to see what went on, but here's a quick overview of what happened in that video. The video released by the Minneapolis Police Department shows officers entering the apartment unit by unlocking the door with a key, shouting, "Police, search warrant, get on the ground, get on the effing ground," as they entered the unit, reported routers. An officer then kicks a couch Locke was lying on underneath a blanket, appearing to wake Locke up. Locke, who was holding a handgun, looks up to see officers surrounding him and begins to stand with the handgun becoming visible. Almost immediately, officers fire 3 shots, killing Locke, who was still twisted up in the blanket. So somebody who was startled up from sleep had a gun on him because he was legally allowed to have a gun on him. Cops didn't care. They shot and killed him regardless, even though he wasn't pointing it, he wasn't threatening, he was just startled, woke up with the gun, and they shot him dead. Nikema Levy Armstrong, a community organizer and a civil rights attorney, said that Locke's family told her that Locke was a registered gun owner with a concealed carry permit who did not live in the apartment and was not being searched for by police, reported CBS. And Nikema Levy Armstrong confronted the police chief and the mayor at a news conference on Friday. Here's the clip of that.
When I agreed to work with you on the work group, we talked about the importance of transparency and accountability. And here, what we are seeing is business as usual. And you know this, Amelia. You know this, Jacob. I don't know how you guys slept that night. I couldn't sleep at night. Tears from a mother's perspective, thinking about what happened. I saw the picture of Amir. He looks like a boy. My son is 17 years old. He has slept on his friends' couches for sleepovers. So we cannot sit here and whitewash this and pretend that it's okay. You knew that I was not going to stand for police violence and a push for accountability, yet you asked me to be a part of the work group. And I knew what I thought I was signed up for. This isn't what I signed up for. I understand if you're not comfortable having me continue to co-chair, that's your prerogative. I signed up to help bring recommendations because we're tired of being killed. We're tired of the cover-ups. We're tired of the excuses. And to hide behind the St. Paul Police Department, the deadliest police force in the state of Minnesota, is unacceptable. You all had no business agreeing to carry out a warrant, and now you're claiming that's part of their investigation. You don't know. Well, why the hell did you all sign up to do this in the first place?
So a little backstory there. Nikema Levy Armstrong serves as the co-chair on the city's new Commission on Community Safety. So she has put forward recommendations to the city to try and improve public safety, and improve the police department. Clearly, you can see that, I guess, isn't going very well. But you have here Nikema Levy Armstrong also calling out that the Minneapolis Police Department was trying to, I guess, pass off blame to the St. Paul's Police Department, who were the ones that initially requested the warrant. But then it came out in reporting that the Minneapolis police changed the warrant to a no-knock warrant. So ultimately, they are both at fault here, but you have the Minneapolis police are the ones putting the no-knock warrant forward. The blame clearly goes on the police chief here and the mayor as well for being responsible for this police department. But of course, further investigation has to be done, but we saw the video. It's very clear what happened. Now, there were protests this weekend over this. So Amir Locke shooting, hundreds protest in Minneapolis after police killing a black man. Let me show you here a bird's eye view of these protests. A lot of people there in the streets. Last thing here, the mayor has halted no-knock entries, so they are putting a moratorium on this, going to investigate maybe if they should eliminate them completely. I think it's fairly obvious that, yes, they should. There's the Breonna Taylor law in Kentucky where they already eliminated no-knock warrants. I'm not sure why other police departments aren't following suit. I mean, I know why they aren't following suit, but if they actually cared about society, they would follow suit and not have no-knock warrants. But this is an ongoing situation. We will see how the police department reacts to this, how the community deals with this, and ultimately if this police officer or these officers in general will face any charges for doing what they did.